Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in. We've got a interesting stream here tonight. Still a little bit light out. Still light out, 8:15 at night. But it's gonna be dark real soon. I'm gonna start streaming at 7 o'clock probably from now on, maybe 7:30 depending. But it's been a little bit later these past few days, a little bit more mellow. And we've got some updates with Zelensky. People have been telling me in chat. What a colossal waste of time. Zelensky wants Trump to visit Ukraine. For what reason? We got Trump's physical as well. Trump got 30 out of 30. Yeah, Trump's 6'3". Libs say it's false. They're angry. Zelensky on 60 Minutes. That'll be great. Propaganda. My pick won the Masters. I know. But it's just the most normie pick ever. But I should have bet on that, man. That's some good money. That's like an 8% chance to win on Polymarket. Rory McIlroy. Why do colleges mandate diversity and inclusion classes? Do they? I don't even know if they do. I wouldn't know. But it's the indoctrination, especially of young women. That's why it would be done. I look like a young Bill Maher. I'm not a midget. I don't know how tall Bill is. Bill looks like he's about 5'4", honestly, if I had to guess. On 60 Minutes, he talked shit. Well, we're going to talk about the tariffs, the situation. I guess it was on Friday. I thought it was Saturday when it came out that there were exemptions on certain electronics and semiconductors and things like that. And now Trump's saying, well, no, there's nothing. There's no exemptions on anything. Trump signals new tariffs on chips, calling exclusions temporary. And then they just show this rundown Chinese factory. I thought this was an abandoned factory. Now, this is a major part of Apple's supply chain. Just look at it. Rory was crying. Well, yeah, I mean, he had never won the Masters. Isn't that a grand slam now when you win all the majors? I sound like a fucking like a girl trying to like understand this. Isn't it when you score? Is that 2 points? Is it... Engineering school graduate 3 years ago, and one of your senior professors asked you for your pronouns. Not just liberal art. Yeah, it's infested throughout the entire curriculum and the entire college experience. But hopefully that goes away now, at least to a degree. I don't know if it'll be fully. I mean, I'm not sure how the colleges are going to be changed. The idea is kids stop going to college, so then they're not going to have as much of an impact. But that's not going to happen with women. I mean, it's just going to divide men and women even further apart. Because now men are all doing trade schools. They're not going to college. You're going to produce less liberal outcomes if you're a dude and you don't go to college. There's a much higher chance you're going to be right and probably pretty far right. Which pretty far right is like, oh, not wanting, immigrants and stuff. It's the West's definition is a joke, but if guys stop going to college, especially at the same rates of women, it's already happening, and you're going to see a massive. I mean, that's really how that's happened. You're seeing a lot more young guys be conservative now. Did you see the OM coin crash? Yeah, I saw that. I don't even know what even happened. I thought that was like a legit project. I just saw a few tweets of it. Career Grand Slam. Rory hates Saudi. It's good he won the live golf. Yeah, Saudi's trying to get their money into really a lot of professional sports in North America. Education system discriminates against conservatives when interviewing and hiring teachers. Well, I would imagine there's probably a lot of areas where they discriminate against conservatives. That's just kind of been the cultural thing recently, especially when it comes to any professor. I mean, the professors, it is next level retardio with the professors. How is it possible if you're giving these kids like the real world experience that, I mean, these are the numbers, like 97% of the professors are liberal. Yeah, you're not really giving that's an indoctrination. There's no, it's just like on Twitter before Musk took it over. The people that were in charge of banning users, they were all liberal. And you could see that through the campaign donations that they had to disclose. If you work for Twitter, you had to disclose it. Did you see Stephen A. Smith say he's running for 2028? Yeah, he's such a joke. He comes out and he says, he's like, he acts like this hero. He's like, I don't want to do it, but they're forcing me to do it. So I have to do, because, you know, like, have you guys heard of the thing to where, and this is what everybody says, and maybe it's true, maybe it's not, but Rogan says this a lot. He'll be like, well, the people we need running the country don't want to deal with the burden of running the country because they don't want to have that power. So then it's just crazy people that want power running the country. So it's like he's trying to play off of that, like, well, I don't want to do it. But bro, it's 2025. It's an off year. Midterms haven't even happened. What are you talking about? You're talking about, there's three, but it's just like, I think it's all for attention. These people all want attention. Portnoy is obsessed with attention. Will the country swing more to the right with the young people going towards the GOP, boomers going left? Boomer electorate percentage going down each year. Yeah, well, you know, we're going to see that trend continue as boomers get older and older and obviously not vote anymore. The question is, when it comes to the young people, this is a relatively new thing. So you have to wonder, how real is it? Like the Hispanic support for Trump, how real is that really? And how much of that was the Democrats being extremely bad at messaging? Because people are starting to think, well, maybe demographics aren't the end all be all because Trump won Hispanic men like 55 to 45. And he almost won Hispanic women, I think. Like, he won Hispanics in general, which is just remarkable. But I think that's an aberration. I really do. I think the minorities will always be mainly Democrat. This was just like, to me, a crazy cultural thing where the Democrats had someone so genuinely horrible. The candidate made a serious difference. Normally with demographics, the candidate, I mean, black people are always going to vote Democrat nowadays. That's just the reality, no matter what the candidate is. Hispanics, you can see it's a little bit different. If the candidate is historically bad, then you might get a result like that. But I think that was an aberration with Hispanics going for Trump. You got cooked on Ohio Reddit for simply asking how voter ID is unfair. Well, it is unfair. Democrats, if we have voter ID, Democrats won't be able to cheat. So that is, I agree with the Redditors. That's very unfair. Like, Ohio's my home state. But yeah, I mean, you're not going to go anywhere with state subreddits. The Wyoming subreddit is like fucking Bernie Sanders Socialism 101 class. That's the Wyoming. I'm just making that up, but I'm sure if you go to Wyoming subreddit, it's probably very liberal. Just an example of how ridiculous and how underrepresented the right is on Reddit and how much of it is just fake. Skip Bayless for VP. Did you see Skip Bayless did one of those Jubilee videos where you debate? I was like, wait, what? Jubilee is really... Remember when Jubilee used to upload, like, I swear they would upload... It felt like a video a day leading into the election. They were really trying to capitalize off the election. But they'd have, like, all those people on where it's like 20 versus 1. But now they're doing sports, so Skip Bayless went up there. Yeah, I saw Portnoy with the flag. It's like the small little ass flag. Well, he was celebrating when Mitchell lost. Javier at 33%. Interesting. So yeah, he's starting to... Oh, I actually have this pulled up right here. Wow. So Carney was at 79%. This would have been 4 days ago. And now he's down to 6. So he's down 11 percentage points in the last 4 days. A surge in the betting for Paul Vier. What's the big tariffs tomorrow? Yeah, well, Trump just has to... We have to know exactly what Trump is doing with these temporary exemptions that he's supposedly putting on, because I thought it was reported on Saturday, but apparently they're saying on Friday this came out. I could have sworn it was Saturday. Maybe it was Friday night. I don't know. But these would be pretty big exemptions. I mean, they would definitely help the tech companies. And you have to wonder, like, it is kind of a cave by Trump. So everyone's wondering, like, what's the big deal here? Why would Trump do this? Well, Trump comes out yesterday, says, no, everything's going to be explained Monday on Air Force One. They were questioning him on it. He said, talking about the semiconductors, the phones, everything, like the full supply line of a supply chain of Apple. And Trump's like, well, it's all going to be explained on Monday. See, like, look, it's inside Trump's reversal on what? Yeah, this is actually correct. Government bond yields. Well, that's why they keep talking about it. But that's just one component of the entire plan with Trump and the administration and the interest rates and everything like that. Because I'll explain things when it comes to the economic viewpoint, and it's always a trade-off. But when the yield went up like that with the market in turmoil, it's a death indicator. When you have a death indicator, it's very hard to argue against that. So they had to bring the tariffs down. Excuse me. I was trying to talk and fucking drink that at the same time. Thank you for that. $10. Let me get my voice back. Hold on. All right, I think I'm good. Steven, thank you for that. $10. Has anyone seen me and Red Eagle stream at the same time? Ginger Red, methinks, is working overtime. Either way, happy Palm Sunday. Yeah, Red Eagle streams normally a bit later than me. But, yeah. Happy Palm Sunday, man. No, it's just I was trying to... sometimes it happens to where you'll be drinking something. It wasn't even a situation to where it goes down the wrong pipe. Because if it goes down the wrong pipe, it's an immediate heavy cough. It was a weird thing that I had to where it just kind of got stuck in my throat as I was talking, trying to swallow the liquid. And so it caused my voice to be disturbed for a few seconds. Do you think this will spark military conflict in Southeast Asia? I mean, this is just mainly the United States and China. Well, what do you think? This would give China an excuse to do something? China has their own issues when it comes to Taiwan and trying to invade them. I really think that's a 2030s problem. I seriously do. And I hope it is. I don't want Trump to have to deal with that because there's really no winning it, especially the way that war would work and how long it would take for there to be any like positive. I mean, what Trump could do is you could definitely manipulate the situation if there's something that happened with Taiwan. If we were helping Taiwan, which I think we would, we already have investment secured from Taiwan. The problem with the Ukraine situation is Biden was just giving them money, and we got nothing back for it. So it was just this constant money drain. See, with Taiwan, Trump has already set it up to where we're already getting something back. They're making huge investments in terms of semiconductors produced in the United States. So Trump is going to get something back if we give Taiwan financial aid, if something were to break out between China and Taiwan. And I think that's the key difference between what Biden did with Ukraine. You bought some Boink coin and Floki altcoins. Yeah, well, those are meme coins. You should invite like Real American or Red Eagle for a stream. Most of us watch all of you, but see you guys in a video together would be cool. I did do a video once with Red Eagle. I'm trying to get someone on right now, and I think I'm going to be getting someone on this week. We'll have to see, because I know people want me to have people on the stream, and I think I could have people on. I mean, I should have a big enough channel to be able to get some people, so He's going to surge after the debate. There was a chart showing Pierre wiping Carney. When it comes to viewership at those rallies, Pierre is a rigid debater. Carney is... Yeah, I agree. I think the debate's going to be really bad for Carney. I do want to watch it. I just don't know if it's copyright or not. If I were to stream that debate. Because the thing is, I'm in the United States. When it comes to debates like that, normally it's a fair use thing. But the thing is, even with the Vance Waltz debate, I got dinged by some copyright bullshit. They left the video up, but they took the ad money, which is whatever. I don't really care. But that's even with the fair use. So I don't even know if I'll be able to have fair use on this this Carney debate. But I probably would live stream it, honestly, just to see. What is it, like an hour and a half normally, those debates? 2 hours? Will Weedcoin get to 5 million? Yeah, I think it will, dude. The thing is with Weedcoin, like, think about it. Obviously on 420, we have to be worried about sell the news. Which, I mean, is it really news when it's 420? But it is kind of like, there's going to be a subset of people that think, well, when it's 420, the coin has no value, so it's going to tank immediately. But if you think about that, we still have a week left until that happens. If it's at around $1 million right now, and it just did a 10x from like 130K or like a 9x from 130K, I think it could hit 6 or 7 million easily. Because we still have like at least runway. Now, I don't know if the coin is going to die, or we'll see. I mean, I think it's a pretty good coin to be able to survive even after 420. Just because they've built up a good... They built up a good community, it looks like. But I don't know. It's hard. It's one of those things you kind of have to hedge because you know there's probably going to be tanking prices on the 19th and 20th because people are going to sell the news of it. Where's the cat reveal? Well, I did show the cat in my Discord, but my cat is... I don't know. I think he's probably sleeping. Refreshing to hear someone my age talking sense and sharing the facts. Thank you. Donovan, I appreciate that. Yeah, I saw that Zuckerberg could be forced to sell Instagram in landmark antitrust trial. What are they saying with antitrust? They're saying he has a monopoly in social media. Copyright on a public debate is wild. Yeah, but, you know, whatever network, whatever Canadian network airs it, they do pay money for the rights to air it. So if I'm making money off of that, then you can understand it. I mean, maybe if I just go with no ads, they won't do anything to me. But even if I get hit with copyrights, they won't copyright claim my video. That's not what they do, which is good because I don't need that. But they will just take the ad revenue. That's it. They don't copyright strike my video. They claim it. If they claim it, it doesn't really matter. I mean, yeah, they'll take the revenue, but what is it? That doesn't really impact my channel in a negative way. China is bitching. I know China came out and they're like, Trump needs to end these tariffs immediately. They're terrible. They keep saying that. It's like, there's no way Trump can do it. He'd look extremely weak anyways, and he's committed to the tariffs. He said tariffs it's his favorite word. He says it like multiple times on the campaign trail. So he's not going to just call him off on a whim because China wants him to. Does giving exemptions to tech corporations hurt small businesses? Small businesses have to pay 125% tariff, yet companies like Apple only at 20%. Well, my wonder, everything's going to be answered tomorrow. My guess is if that happened, you would have to think there'd be a deal by these bigger tech companies to have some type of investment into domestic production of these things. Like they could say, can you end the tariffs or lower the tariffs for us? We'll commit a certain amount of money. And Apple already has committed a certain amount of money to the United States, to be fair, even before these tariffs happened. But the 125%, or what is it now, 145%, it's not going to stay on forever. It might stay on for a month, 2 months as a deal gets worked out. I don't know what the final tariff number Trump is going to have on China that's going to stick, but we still don't know what number that is. But yeah, I mean, if you are lowering the tariffs for big tech, obviously that's going to have a negative reaction on other businesses that aren't that. Juan, what's up, man? Juan, what's up? Why is little X being in and out of the open like that? Musk is a terrible father. What do you mean? Like bringing him everywhere? I mean, it is a little bit aggressive in terms of how many places he brings him, but I don't know. It doesn't really bother me. Zelensky says Trump should visit Ukraine before any negotiations. This is just a waste of time. I mean, how many? It's just like every day. We finally get a ceasefire. Then it's a partial ceasefire. Then there's actually no ceasefire. Now Zelensky wants Trump to visit him. Remember they're going to do the minerals deal? That falls apart. Now there's still no minerals deal. It's just like everything when it comes to this war is moving in slow motion. And I understand but it's like we can't even catch a break with this war. And it'll happen. There'll be a peace deal reached, but hopefully. As long as Trump wants there to be a peace deal, there's going to be a peace deal because the United States is the most powerful player. But it may take some time. It may take some nudging from the U.S. on both of these countries, and that's what Trump is trying to do. Take some profits. What, on weed coin? Yeah, I know what you're saying, dude, with Epstein coin. That was a joke. But I mean, the thing is, I think this is a different scenario a little bit. Because we have more of a runway before 420 happens. Like if it's the 18th or 19th, that hopefully it's higher, you know, on the 18th or 19th. You think we get deals finalized this week? I do. Well, I mean, I don't know. Just speculation. Trump has said multiple days that deals are close with some of these countries. I would say Vietnam probably gets done. South Korea may get done. Japan might get done. Argentina might get done. I'll just give you guys some names, but I don't know if... Carney moved his company to New York 11 days before Trump took office because of tariffs. I mean, Carney doesn't even feel like he's Canadian with his... how his career has gone. That is globalism 101. Someone like Carney winning. I mean, that guy is just... I just can't see him winning. I really can't when you think about it versus Paul Vier. Hi, Trump talking to reporters is wild. Yeah, at the end of it, when they were on the plane, I saw that this morning. Trump's like, Kai, these are all the fake news. You think it's good to buy HII stock for ships? It depends who's making the ships. But yeah, the Ships Act just got passed, so there's going to be significantly more production and money rolling into the maritime industry in the United States because we're going to have to make ships. We're going to make a big investment. We'll have to see how that plays out. The debate will be Thursday at 7 CBC. Yeah, I heard about the kid in Minnesota that wanted to off Trump. It's like, I don't know. It's a certain subset, that's for sure. But from what I heard, it was preservation of the white race. It was not a liberal. That is not a liberal ideology. You know, because a lot of those guys think Trump's controlled. So that's what I heard it was from that kid. Thoughts on Mr. Wonderful, Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank? Yeah, I mean, he's definitely conservative. He argues conservative, you know, for Trump in terms of his economic policy on CNN. So, and he wants to go hard. He's the one that wanted the 400% tariff on China because at a certain point they probably have to act. I don't know. China is just so obsessed with optics and like they don't care about inflicting pain on their citizens if it means standing up to the United States. It's hard because Trump has more of an obligation to like make sure Americans don't feel it too much in the wallet, even though when you're talking about like this type of realignment, you kind of have to commit to something that may hurt for a little bit, but it's like you can't do it just because of our 4-year system. It will be streamed on YouTube. I'm sure it will. Any big debate should be streamed on YouTube at this point. I mean, all the Trump debate, all the Trump debates and the Republican debates, they all get streamed on like 7 different news outlets. They all pick them up on YouTube. You think the crypto market has topped or no big alt season this time? I think there will be an alt season. There's going to be more liquidity. There's going to be more money flow once we get the rate cuts, and it all should happen at the right time, I'm hoping. I mean, but it might be an extended alt season. It might be a little bit different. I don't know if we can really buy into the 4-year cycle. Like Bitcoin, if you look at the 4-year cycle, it seemingly is being invalidated. Or maybe not Bitcoin, but yeah, I mean, Bitcoin right now, if like according to the 4-year cycle, it should be at like 150K, I think. So they just keep changing it, so. Do you think Trump is going to mess with Medicare and Medicaid? I mean, somebody has to. It's very hard to do because it's not popular. I mean, there's a lot of fraud in it. I mean, ideally, you would approach it and be like, all right, we're going to look for all the fraud. And that's how you approach it, rather than saying you're going to. I mean, it's just the healthcare in the United States needs to be completely torn down and rebuilt. But you just, I mean, how do you do that? There's really no correct way to do it. Is JD Vance being so active the biggest clue he's going to be the candidate for 2028? Well, he's active because he's the VP. And you could, well, he does give these speeches. I will say that. Maybe he gives a little bit more speeches than the normal VP would, but I mean, obviously, JD Vance is going to be a top contender for 2028, and that's just the reality of having a young VP that's rising. I mean, it's always going to be seen as an option. Right now, he's, I would say, the clear favorite for 2028, but there's potential someone else can come up. It just depends what Trump wants, really. Carney moved his company to New York to avoid tariffs so clearly. He will totally cave and kiss Trump's ass. Yeah, he's just got no backbone. I mean, it's like a robot with him. He's not an actual leader. The debate will be horrible for Carney. Yeah, I agree. And that could really turn that election too, especially if Paul Vieira is starting to gain more momentum in the betting and the polls. How do you feel about Trump running for a 3rd term? He's just too old, and it's not possible. You look at the 22nd Amendment and then the 12th Amendment, it's not possible right now because he cannot run. He's ineligible, but even if he ran as VP, he can't run as VP. He's also ineligible. So he'd have to be like, have some other position and then through the chain of command be like elevated or something. I just don't think if he was like 70 or 65 years old, then yeah, we'd probably be seriously talking about it. But it's a combination of the amendments and also his age. And I think it's going to be like, yeah, it's just not worth it. It was always fraudulent to give 18-year-olds 100K. It's called predatory lending. Yeah, look up Belt and Road Initiative. They do it on a big, wide scale in China. But yeah, I mean, when kids going in 100K in debt, they don't even know what they're doing. They think they're like doing the right thing. Like it's crazy how it's the exact opposite. But I mean, that's just how our structure, how our education system is set up. It's like you have to go to college if you don't go to college, unless you do some crazy abstract thing like social media and a lot of the social media stuff is very bad as well. But unless you do some like abstract thing, you need to get a degree, and then you end up getting a shitty degree, and you're like 50K into debt, depending on if your parents can pay for it or if you can pay for it, which obviously kids can't. You can't pay 100K off in 4 years. So then you start off with like a job at entry level, like 45K, and you've got like 70K in debt. It's a miserable experience. Even 2 years in politics is an eternity. No telling what the midterms are going to look like. Yeah, I mean, but we can kind of predict 2028 just based off of historical president with Vance. I feel pretty confident about it. I mean, you can't say for sure, but the Democrats are a whole nother story. I think probably the winner of the Democratic nominee, we're probably not talking about them right now. It's going to be somebody that comes out of nowhere. Is it true that we have kicked China out of the Panama Canal? Yeah, we did kick them out of the canal, and we're in the process of officially removing them when that sale with the Hong Kong-based company who owns both of the ports surrounding the canal gets completed. So we're in the process of kicking them out of the canal. The diplomatic relationship between Panama and China has been severed, and this is great news, and this is something we must educate people on, and it's a huge win for Trump. As long as Trump doesn't do anything like invade the canal zone, which I think would be very unpopular, this is a huge win that we can use for Trump. It's very important. It is a total violation of the Monroe Doctrine. It's Chinese influence in Latin America. It's a canal that cost us $10 billion and a lot of workers' lives. And this is a great thing for Trump, what he's doing with the canal. So it's a huge win. Tariffs will, with respect to manufacturing, this is the poll, add jobs 49%, lose jobs 25%. Well, of course, let's hope they add jobs. The question is, they should do a poll, will prices go up? I'm sure it'll probably be similar. People say they'll go up. I don't know, is there any, like, opinion polls? Trump approval rating, Reuters, -7. It's not too surprising to me. Job approval, CNN, -5. Yeah, I mean, these numbers are not going to be great. It's the situation within the economy. Shapiro House, look it up. Josh Shapiro, an attack on his home? Wow. Arsonists set fire to Josh Shapiro's family home in Pennsylvania as he slept inside at 2 a.m. You know, you don't want to speculate on this stuff early, but there was a lot of liberals that didn't like Shapiro's stance on a few things, so I don't know. You rewatch part of my election night stream at least once a week. That was obviously a very legendary stream. What's the tease? Well, the tease is Trump is going to be revealing exactly the exemptions that supposedly are on big tech. I mean, he's put exemptions. He said the exemptions were fake, but people are saying they're real. It's basically the tariffs have come down on electronics to 20%. But Trump is saying everything will be revealed on Monday. He said that in a interview. What about making a law that says interest on student loans is illegal? Do you think that helps? You and your engineering friends didn't come from rich families and had to take loans. Well, I mean, but even if you do that, it's still even without the interest, it's still a ton. But yeah, I mean, maybe that's a happy medium. He was a VP candidate for Harris. Yeah, they didn't pick him because he's really against Palestine. He's very pro-Israel. You think it was at the state-owned mansion? Yeah, you don't want to. These look like All right, here's what Shapiro says.
We don't know the person's specific motive yet, but we do know a few truths. First, this type of violence is not okay. This kind of violence is becoming far too common in our society. And I don't give a damn if it's coming from one particular side or the other, directed at one particular party or another, or one particular person or another. It is not okay. And it has to stop. We have to be better than this. And we have a responsibility to all be better.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to speculate, but obviously he's extremely, there's a lot of liberals that are extremely pro-Palestine. He's extremely pro-Israel. Before the election, he had that was actually with Zelensky, I believe. He had the photo op with the missiles where he was signing the missiles. That was a different situation, but why didn't you stream Trump officially being called the winner of the election? Well, because, maybe because I was worried about a copyright. I mean, there's no way I was letting copyright do anything on that night because I had a lot of money coming in terms of, the viewers. So, but it was also, I ended the stream a little bit early because I was I just couldn't talk. I hit a wall. I couldn't talk after like 8 hours. I mean, it's like, I'll tell you what, if I do a 2028 election stream, I'm gonna have to collab because I'm not talking for another fucking 8 straight hours. I'll fucking lose. I just hit a wall like 7 hours in. The left is gonna cancel him for that. Says the clown autographing missiles. That was insane, dude. Like, obviously this is a very sad situation, but that was with Zelensky. I do remember that. What about Tesla vandalism? Yeah, I mean, these people are just insane with everything. But I mean, let's see it play out and stuff. You don't want to make any assumptions, but there's a lot of pro-Palestinian people that were not happy. Do you use TurboTax? No, I bought into like a specific tax group that helps YouTubers, and because they're a little bit different type of taxes, and so I have people do my taxes. So I do it that way. Dude had Trump nearly assassinated his state, didn't do a thing. But wasn't there didn't that other thing happen in Butler, Pennsylvania? Or I don't know. There was like did that kid who killed his family and then said he was going to kill Trump, didn't that also happen in Butler? What? No, that was in Wisconsin. I don't know. I thought there was another thing that happened in Butler as well, Pennsylvania. But yeah, that was crazy. And then there were some people that blamed Shapiro to a degree for that in terms of the security situation. There's a lot that doesn't add up about the Butler situation. Piers Morgan is pro Rory. Well, isn't Rory wasn't he born in Wales? I don't know. Was he born in the UK? Maybe Northern Ireland? When will Musk step down from Trump's administration? I mean, probably later this year, they said. I don't know. He's going to take a back seat. I know that. It's already been put out in the ether that he's going to take a back seat on the campaign, or on the administration, I should say. But I don't know exactly when that's going to be. Your accountant is from Greenland? That's nice, man. That's going to be an American citizen. Did Zelensky wear a suit for his interview, his 60 Minutes interview? Let's see if there's any clips from this. Remember this?
And now I want to hand it over to the president of Ukraine, who has as much courage as he has determination. Ladies and gentlemen, President Putin.
Oh, they cut it off. They didn't show Zelensky's reaction. Zelensky was like, what? And then he's like, no, it's Zelensky. We're going to beat Putin. We're going to beat Putin. This is why is this from April 7th? Why is it on here? Like, April 7th? Zelensky wants Trump to visit Ukraine before any negotiations. It's just a waste of time. What are we doing? With the Dem narrative, what's the Dem narrative when the markets rally behind pre-tariff, after deals are reached and rates are slashed? Yeah, I'm not sure what their narrative would be, because it's coming. I mean, we are headed for a good situation within the stock market. We have to be. I mean, everything's going to be juiced to the gills. We've got this short-term suffer, and even if you think Trump is just throwing things at the wall, I mean, the economic numbers don't lie. We've got very low inflation. Inflation's been slashed in part because of the turmoil within the market, because of the tariffs. And so when we get the rate cuts, the metrics don't lie. We're going to see a boom. It's inevitable. Unless something crazy happens with a war or something you can't predict. Especially if these wars end. This is more bullish stuff. These wars ending. You'd vote for AOC Whitmer just for the AI videos? Whitmer, man. What a pathetic White House visit that was. Yeah, come on. Zelensky made it clear that Russia will have to return Ukraine to its pre-2014 borders to consider a peace deal. Russia's opening offers to keep 60% of the post-2022 occupied territory. So they would only keep, so they wouldn't even get 1/5 of the country then, if that's the truth. Because if they got all of this territory, I think it's 1/5, but only 60%. They want 60% of the territory they currently control. I don't know if that's true or not. I haven't really read that anywhere else. I spot him on Doge Jones Industrial Average. Yeah, dude, I was looking at it. I would rotate from the weed coin, but I'm sticking in weed right now, and maybe I'll rotate into Doge. I don't know yet though. What's Trump's biggest win so far? This you mean during his second term? I would probably say sealing the border. I mean, obviously there's so many things in the pipeline, so it's like, but I would say sealing the border is probably the biggest win right now for Trump. I mean, you could argue getting rid of DEI, but that's kind of like a vague thing that happens in certain areas, and USAID and check the official CME Fed Watch tool. It's called CME Fed Watch. Yeah, 23 days. So they're saying it's going to stay, 80% chance at staying. The thing is with these, it's always annoying because, you know, this is like, so this is basically saying there's a 20% chance of a drop in the May 7th meeting. June, they're saying it's going to be a drop. At least there's a 63% chance. There's a 14% chance of a bigger cut. Yeah, so there's going to be some drops. Yeah. There's going to have to be. They're going to be cutting it multiple times within the next 4 or 5 months. That's what this is saying. If that's true, why doesn't Ukraine accept it? Yeah, I know. I wasn't expecting that. I don't think that's true, because that seems unrealistic. That their opening offer would be to give up 40%. I mean, I don't know how exhausted their military is, though. You know, you don't really know the exact leverage that these countries have unless you're in the middle of negotiations. But it does seem like a pretty shitty opening offer from Russia. Just, you would think they would probably demand to keep all of the territory they already have occupied. That would be their opening offer. And then it would get negotiated down, maybe. Although I honestly thought they were probably just going to keep all their territory anyways. The thing is, Russia has leverage because none of these countries want to fight in a war. And Russia's fighting in one right now. So they can just say, well, we want this, and if we don't get this, we'll continue the war. And we know that because we have the nuclear weapons as like a safeguard for NATO to get involved, which they're not going to. Otherwise, there will be an escalation. They can just kind of negotiate themselves into getting not whatever they want, because at a certain point, I mean, they've had troubles taking even the amount of land that they have right now, but the main issue is NATO does not want to be involved in this, and Russia knows it, so they're going to have leverage in that area. Now, if NATO gets involved, they could push Russia back, but then you're talking about escalation with whatever that entails. I don't know if it would immediately entail nuclear bombs. It would entail longer range missiles, but I don't know about nuclear bombs. It's impossible to say. What is the ticker for the weed coin? It's just, I think the ticker's weed coin. But it's hovering around 1 million. I mean, ideally, dude, because there's still a week until 420, I would be concerned about 420, though. Because I think there'd be a huge sell-off, just because people think there's no value in the coin. But it's right at 1 million. It went to like 1.8, and it's gone back down, so it's fluctuating around 1 million. But I mean, if there's still a week before 420, there's probably going to be a lot more, hopefully a lot more buying. And then maybe I'll rotate into Doge Jones. I don't really know. I might just have like 4 or 5 coins that I like and just go with those 4 or 5 coins. I don't even know if I'm trying to get too rich, honestly. I mean, I'll take it if I can get it, but it's am I really ready to be extremely rich at a young age? It probably would be bad for me. You got to have self-awareness. It's not cope. That is a crazy offer. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know who this was. This seems like a fake offer. I think this is fake. Accuracy, confidence, normal. What does that even mean? Accuracy, it says at the bottom, accuracy, confidence, normal. Calling Putin's bluff, he won't use nukes. Yeah, I mean, that's the more aggressive viewpoint. But, I mean, it's an insane bluff to have nuclear war, a nuclear winter. That's an insane bluff to gamble with. But I could see it. But what do you do? Just push them back to their original borders? Do you take Crimea back from them? Crimea River. Let's tell that to Putin. No, man, you can't risk that if you're Trump. I mean, you were brought in to end the war. Zelensky is delusional. Well, there's no way Ukraine's getting Crimea River. It's not going to happen. Shit's so expensive. You have to be really, yeah, you got to have like, I mean, to live a nice life, you got to have, it depends what city you live in. Because the cost of living is so different in cities in the United States. But you live in a good, like, solid, not too expensive city. $5 or $6 million, you'll be set. And you invest like a million or 2 million into bonds or the S&P, some shit like that. Nukes are a bluff. Nobody will be using nukes over Ukraine. Well, I mean, if NATO troops get involved, it's technically a global war. It's not necessarily just a Ukrainian war. Because you're involving troops from other countries then. And, I mean, technically it's already happened. Supposedly, Zelensky has said there's like Chinese troops fighting, there's North Korean troops, but it's like a very small amount. What percentage to Ukraine would be considered a win? 30%? What, like land returned to Ukraine? I would be surprised if they got much of it back at all, honestly. I think if they get some of it back, it'd be a win. And Trump could swing it as a win. I mean, obviously, liberals would not be happy because they don't want any area to be annexed because they think it's giving in to Putin, and he's just gonna... Well, they say it's like appeasement. I mean, it's not even close to the same thing as you know, Hitler in the 1930s. Remilitarizing the Rhineland, taking Austria, taking all of Czechoslovakia, splitting Poland. I mean, there's a lot more that went on with Nazi Germany than this type of situation. Judicial Watch is suing Pam Bondi. Is that the liberal dude who's just... Is that who it is? That very liberal dude who's like this supposed lawyer or whatever, but he's just so liberal. It's like... Your channel is supposed to be about, like, court cases, and your liberal just leftist is oozing through your skin. These people just can't get over it. Nowhere is inexpensive anymore, even a rural town. I mean, I would say there still are places that are relatively inexpensive, but I'm younger, so I don't really have something, you know, like the 1990s to compare it to. Wes Moore is surging in the polls. In what polls? Like Democrat primary polls? Zelensky crying on 60 Minutes. Nobody cares. I mean, yeah, we're just trying to end this war with Zelensky. They're just giving him propaganda on 60 Minutes. Oh, Trump needs to visit. Well, what will that accomplish? I mean, seriously, dude. So Trump visits, and it's just like, can we just get the ceasefire going? I mean, Ukraine was the one that they agreed to the original ceasefire. To be fair to them, they did agree to the original. I don't know what the exact terms were. Obviously, Russia was not too happy with it. That's why it wasn't fully agreed to. Did you hear about the Second Amendment gun laws that were put into place in Colorado? Yeah, I did. I saw a thing on X where they were at the signing ceremony of the laws. Ceasefire in 90 day now stuck at 1.2 cents on Polymarket. $10 wins 1,000. Come on, man, don't miss out. $10 wins 1,000 for that. But what's the verbiage of it exactly? Yeah, I'll have to fire up a VPN and get into that. You're thinking about legal. No, you're right. You're right. I got it wrong. Judicial Watch is the ones that like show body cams and stuff and review it. Legal is the worst YouTube. But I mean, it's just like, dude, are you a lawyer? All you do is like talk about this fucking bullshit. Oh, but I'm a liberal, and just all this, like, and it's all far left. It's just complete obnoxious shit. There's nothing worse than like an obnoxious liberal. That just everything's liberal in politics, and it's just all. And you know how they're all like pompous and arrogant, and they try and do this thing to where they don't let the politics seep through, but it's like sweat. It just seeps through them. Who's going to win the Stanley Cup? I have no clue. The verbiage is very open as far as you can tell. Even a failed or temporary ceasefire would trigger a win. Yeah, but you know how Polymarket would probably say, fuck that. we're gonna lose so much if it's a yes on that. So they're probably gonna say no. I mean, they can interpret it any way they want. Let's be honest, they rule on it. I mean, dude. But wait, April 20th, that's in 7 days. Oh, yeah, you need news to come out. Yeah, I mean, that's crazy value if it's just really any ceasefire, but I don't really see it happening. I mean, it is good value. Man, they've got 41 million in volume on this. There's no way. Remember on the election, what they had like 4 billion in volume on the election. I wonder what they have in the Canadian election. Doesn't even say. Go ahead, bet on Alberta. Do you market on Alberta? That doesn't make any sense. Why would it be? What? Oh, that's the total amount you win. I thought if you did 1,000, then you won 1,007, so you got 2,007, but you win $7. Yeah, that makes more sense. Bryson DeChambeau said Rory McIlroy did not speak to him the entire day. Well, yeah, were they the final pairing? Are you following the South Korea election? Very important. Oakland. You're talking about the presidential election on June 3rd? Is Argentina having another election? Put 10K on it? Yeah, I don't even think you could. It would sink the entire... It would devalue the shares if you did that. Is there an American version of Polymarket? It's Kalshi. Yeah, Kalshi is it. I don't really use. I don't really look on Kalshi. I don't know. Maybe it's better, but I just never use it. I know Paul Vier gained a decent amount. He gained like 11 points in Polymarket in the past 4 days. I saw. Polymarket could jump hard, even just news. You could set a stat. Yeah, you could sell at 10 cents. That's something you could do for sure. Like an 8x. Doesn't have to be an actual ceasefire. I know, but the thing is, dude, you could go throughout the entire week to where it's not even mentioned, really. I mean, what do you think? Because the 60 Minutes interview, it's going to be in the news. Did Trump talk about Russia, Ukraine? There's going to be, like... You'd have to, like, look up Trump, Ukraine, like... Trump says Ukraine talks may be going okay, but there's a time to put up or shut up. Trump hinting at an ultimatum. Putin seems to be raising the stakes. Trump's envoy embrace of Russian demands worries Republicans, U.S. allies. Trump envoy meeting with Putin. Get moving. Oh, this is interesting. But what does get moving in a political sense? Like a month? I don't think it's gonna happen in a few days. What happened with the Iran talks? They're talking again on next Saturday. I think the talks went fairly well. I mean, you know, we're not gonna really know anything. Like, Trump talking about how Iran can't have a nuclear weapon. Trump always does this where he threatens Iran. Or he'll threaten countries, and it's just all empty threats. And I think these countries know that. The Biden-Obama administration does not pose any credible threats to. I mean, but the Iran situation is so crazy because Trump ripped up the deal. Obama was the one that brokered it, the nuclear deal. As far as the 90 days, buy the rumor, sell the news. The rumor is right now that they are doing talks. The news is that anything happens basically at all would easily hit 10 cents. I don't know. There's a lot of volume in the market. I don't think it's going to hit 10 cents immediately just because a few people bet on that. If there's, they said there, what was there, 1.4 million in that market? Just curious why the pause, and it's reported as an L. What, the pause on tariffs? Because anytime, well, it's like blinking. It's a blinking match. So Trump, it's perceived as Trump blinking. If you're talking about the tariffs with China, if Trump is going to remove some certain tariffs, it's perceived as blinking, and in a staring match, you know, you lose. But it's really a very simplistic way to look at it. Obviously, it's a lot more complicated than that when you talk about a deal that's going to be made. The winner of the deal, that's who's going to win this trade war, and whatever it ends up being. It was a terrible deal. We're subsidizing Iran's proxies. Well, I hear you, but with the Middle East, you're really not going to find a perfect solution. If you can, you know, via negotiation, avoid war, it's always a positive, I feel like, in the Middle East. You know, you can't do the exact perfect deal. It's just, there is no perfect deal. Will you ever do a retrospective on the 93 World Trade Center bombing? Yeah, you know, I know a lot about the 93 bombing, and I had a video. I don't know why I deleted it. I had a video. It was saved as a draft. I could never get it monetized on the 93 bombing. Or maybe I do have it on my members. One of my members' videos. That would have been uploaded a while ago, though. Ramsey Yousev. And, yeah, I mean, also in relation to the Bojanka plot as well. I mean, they were targeting the towers for years before 2001. No one wants DeSantis. At least Gabbard will draw the sympathy vote. What, DeSantis is VP? Yeah, DeSantis kind of seems. I mean, there's certain roles, and DeSantis is a really good governor, but in terms of when it comes to the national level, there's a disconnect with DeSantis, obviously. He really didn't blink. He's right. It's fake news. The original executive order exempted semis in Annex 2, the CBP clarification memo. Yeah, but what about the it's not just the conductors, it's electronics. No, the pause with Iran talks. Well, it's not really a pause because they're resuming them a week from today. It's just how these talks play out. So they had talks on Saturday. They're going to have talks next Saturday. I mean, hopefully there's some deal. It would be great for Trump and to be able to push back against some of this Israel nonsense if we could come to an agreement with Iran on some type of nuclear deal and prevent this. I mean, this would be a huge thing for Trump. So let's hope that ends up happening. I mean, it seems like they really are open to this. You've heard that they did the Fort Knox audit, and sure enough, we have millions of gold reserves. Where did you hear that? Is that going to be in the news? Zero Hedge invited to White House press pool despite lies about Fort Knox gold. There doesn't. This seems like this was from a while ago. These are all from like a month ago. You know, if I get any wind of this, I'll buy into that Knox coin again. I just need to get wind of anything that's going to come in the pipeline about that. Share your thoughts on Elon Dogelon today. Dogelon Mars. I like Dogelon Mars, but it's already at like 70, 80 million. Like, what is it going to go to 2 billion? That's maybe. You look at the electronics. Well, the electronics was the big thing. The semiconductors, the semiconductors as an exemption is understandable. He exempted the semiconductors from Taiwan as well. Now, you want to say, well, China's different from Taiwan and he shouldn't, he should treat China differently. I understand it, but the semiconductors being exempted was not a big problem for me. Because if you track him exempting semiconductor imports from Taiwan, then it's understandable that he would also. But the problem is the electronics in terms of Apple, because that was the whole idea. Like, well, we're going to force Apple to domestically produce, at least to a degree, iPhones. I mean, the labor of the iPhone is not much at all. It's just building the factories for it. Iran fears Trump more than Biden. Yeah, well, Biden really didn't do shit about the Middle East at all. They kind of just left it alone because it's a lose-lose topic. Do you think Kyron Lacey, LSU receiver, faked it and is in Mexico? I mean, I just saw that he had died. I don't know. There's a conspiracy about that. Welcome to New Delhi, Ohio. Yeah, but he's gonna change the name back to Indians. We have that going for us. American consumers are too weak to stomach a trade war. China will win, unfortunately. I know, but how do we spin this? Yeah, I know. But I mean, whether if there's a negotiation, we can spin it because you can spin. There's gonna have to be things that China gives up. It's just the reality. Now, what we end up giving up, I don't know, but there's gonna be a negotiation. We'll be able to spin it, I think, unless it's like really bad. But it comes down to like consumer pain, and we just can't experience anywhere close to the amount of pain that the Chinese put their citizens through. It's not even close to the same level. So you go into a trade war with them, they're on a different level than we are. It's not even close. But then I have to try and explain that to people, and it just seems like I'm making excuses for Trump. Canada is projected to be 50% Indians. Come on. I mean, they do want to double their population through immigration. They said they want, because their country is so sparse. I mean, Canada, it's a double whammy. Low birth rates, and they have a sparsely populated country. So their goal is through immigration to double their population. Yeah, good luck with that. Oh, good luck. When rate cuts? Well, it looks like the rate cuts are going to be on the June meeting. It's going to happen unless there's emergency cuts. I don't think they're going to cut them in May. Trump's going to be pissed off if they don't cut them in May. There's a chance they do. What is it, the June 19th meeting? They'll start the cuts. I mean, we'll see what the economy does in the stock market over the next few months or the next few weeks. The bitch Bannon is saying Trump's going to run for a third term is laughable. Well, he just doesn't understand. He keeps talking about the 22nd Amendment and doing the thing that MAGA's been talking about where it's Trump runs as VP, because if you look at the 22nd Amendment, there's ways around if he runs as VP and then gets elevated when Vance steps down on Inauguration Day, but you can't do that under the 12th Amendment. Trump's ineligible from running for VP and president because of 2 terms. You would have to amend an amendment or create a new amendment, and it would have to be agreed upon, obviously, by Democrats. You need, what is it, 67% agreement? And I mean, that would be them wanting to run Obama again against Trump. But it's like, is it even worth it to do that? It's never going to happen. You looked up the EO again. The codes on electronic components seem to be in there. You don't see the smartphone code, but it is really complicated, Doc, not just 145% on all. What, the executive order that was tariffing them at 145%? Well, listen, the administration's going to have to explain this better to the average people because they're not going to be combing through this shit. That's why Trump said it's going to come out on Monday. What's the latest on Greenland? There's really no update. They need to... right now, they're doing, hopefully, propaganda campaigns. I don't know what they're doing, but I know they want to do propaganda campaigns within Greenland and invest money into turning around U.S. morale within the country because it's not good right now. They don't like us. They think Trump's a fascist. They think Trump is trying to conquer them. So we have to turn around their opinions on the United States. To be clear, tariffs on China are currently 145%, but the tariffs on laptops, cell phone, electronics are not 45%, they're 20%. Yeah, I know. I mean, I've tried to explain that. I've explained it to people. You don't like the idea of a third term, let JD Vance and Stephen Miller run? No, I don't. They wouldn't pick Stephen Miller. I mean, Stephen Miller's a sharp guy, but you don't pick him for VP. Panama Canal. I did a video on it. I don't think Trump would be wise to really invade the canal. I mean, it's just not worth it. I mean, if we can just proxy control the canal, I think it'd be better. Unless a takeover would be very easy, but it's just not going to be seen positively in public. The public light is going to be very bad on it. Did you see the massive Hindu god statue in Texas? 4th biggest statue in America. Maybe Vivek will break the record when he's governor. There, you know, speaking of statues, there was a massive statue of Elon Musk that got vandalized in Texas as well. Or was that a different state? But like, why is there a massive Elon Musk statue in Texas? It was strange, but then the liberals vandalized it. But yeah, there's a lot of shit going on in Texas. Denmark really hurt the Greenland natives to keep the small population. Yeah, well, they do have a ridiculously small population, and that'll be good propaganda against them. I'll look up that project and see what it was. Best play is to save up about 100K, then move to like Russia or Southeast Asia, and you'll have like 400 or 500K in purchasing power. Yeah, but that's like cheating. You're moving to another country. I mean, I can understand, based on the United States and the price of everything, people being very concerned, but I would never leave the United States personally. Elon stepping down after 130 days. What is that on Polymarket? Yeah, I don't know. I know Elon's going to be, and it's not going to be a blow up either. People are like, oh, they're going to have a falling out. I don't believe it's going to be that. It's just going to be, probably be better for Musk and his company to get out of the limelight a little bit. And, they'll say it's the original plan. I don't really know exactly what the plan was with Musk as part of this administration. I thought it was a 2-year thing, but I think Doge overall is a 2-year thing. And people are saying it's a bust. What did they say, like 150 billion or something? I don't know. We'll see what the numbers come out as. Save 100K and put down on a house, you're halfway there. Yeah, but any decent house now, I guess it depends where you're living, but I mean, any decent starter home even is going to be 370, 380K, even in an okay livable area. If you want to live in a decent area, I mean, you see the rent in, I believe it's Montana and Idaho just skyrocketing, and a lot of it, liberals have already destroyed at least the voting in the city of Boise. Boise is, I believe, liberal now, and that's going to continue happening. It's because the Great Plain area and like those states, they're just underpopulated, and these liberal policies are they're so horrible in terms of life quality. I mean, the policies that they promote, it's more crime and it's higher prices in terms of a lot of these people like living in big cities, so there's going to be higher prices with more crime and more taxes. So there's a lot of these specifically young liberal white people, they move into predominantly heavy white towns and they turn them, and then it's just like, oh no. I had a tweet about that. I was just like, but I mean, it just keeps happening. House here is 500K. I don't know where you live, but yeah, houses are pretty fucking expensive now, man. Seattle, a starter home is like 900K. A starter home is 900. Well, yeah, Seattle. I can understand Seattle. What about the suburbs surrounding it? Trump files multi-billion-dollar lawsuit. It's Paramount, 60 Minutes, CBS. He's been going after those shows for, I guess, reporting fake stuff on him. I don't know. I think it'd be better if Trump left that alone, personally. I understand people are like, well, it's a vendetta thing, and he should get back at them. Salt Lake is the same as Boise, but big, bro. Example, 1/20th of the state population in the city is Salt Lake City? Yeah. How about Utah getting ruined by just liberals and demographical shifts? Just horrible. Utah. But I don't know. We'll see what happens with Utah. Utah was one of the states where people were a little bit like, oh, they were surprised at the margin on election night. I mean, there's going to be some spillover from all the people leaving California, the migration out of California. Every month you pay $800 to $1,500 in rent is money you don't own. Don't put money in other people's pockets if you don't have it. Your income is only going to go up. You can. What are you talking to me? No, I mean, but it is. People have to rent when they're young. It's just the reality of it. Thoughts on Elizabeth Warren, Bobby Kennedy ticket? Well, that wouldn't work. RFK and Elizabeth Warren. Yeah, but nobody's voting for Elizabeth Warren. People would vote for Sanders would be above Warren. AOC would be above Warren. The Nick Shirley video, and so that's where that video was, because I saw that. Yeah, that they wouldn't let him do anything. Well, I guess they found out that he's like, oh, he's a right wing. How dare he be right wing? Keep importing illegals, driving up the housing prices. That's a big reason why it's happening. There's more competitiveness within the markets, and then also the native born citizens are not having children. It's a horrible cycle. This is like modern liberalism. It is destroying the country. I mean, that is the goal of it. It's like if you talk to these people about just liberalism in the West and like what is happening, I guess they could argue, well, birth rates everywhere in every first world country are being destroyed, so it's not just in the West. But just the idea of this just mass immigration liberalism, it is just there's no actual, and this is what Musk said. There's no point of having borders. There's no point of having a country. You just can't allow this type of demographical shift. The whale enters, Sean. Watching The Patriot tonight made me think of all the small towns in America pick up steel and other items used in manufacturing and industrial products. Small towns fought for our freedom, just normal everyday people. The whale enters. Thank you, Sean. Yeah, the AF post with Stephen A. Smith. Dean, I've been seeing a lot of that. I'm getting sick of it. It's just tiring. Like, it's 3 months until the election. This dude has zero qualifications. At least, I mean, Trump was a businessman. This dude, come on with this. Such a stupid grift that they just keep reporting on it. Your grandparents bought a mansion in the 80s for $145K. Yeah, I mean, it's a combination of things. It's housing prices going up and inflation. That's why, you could get, I guess it depends where you get it. You get a mansion like 1.2, you get a mansion 1 million maybe. You're not getting any type of mansion at 145K. You're not even getting a 2-bedroom for 145K. How do we avoid an aging population, at least non-Hispanic immigrants, to prevent population collapse? Yeah, I mean, it's a well, the entire college structure has to be changed because feminism really is the root of it in terms of this move away from families and fulfillment through having kids. And I mean, obviously the price of things. I mean, the immigration affects price of things, competitiveness in the housing market. But it really is feminism through college indoctrination is mainly what I would say. But you have to, it's like a massive shift of multiple decades. That's why I always say it's very complex. But it's more so a cultural thing. You can incentivize people having kids and give them tax breaks and for every kid you have. But that's not going to, that's like putting a Band-Aid on it. They say you have to change the culture. And it's Christian values, it's nuclear family, but that's all seen now as extremely right-wing stuff. That's how far we've shifted. What is the big tariff announcement tomorrow? Well, it's Trump. I think we're probably going to get some deals with some of these countries, like Argentina on a renegotiated free trade agreement. So some of the deals are going to be negotiated, I would maybe by tomorrow, but we're also going to get Trump talking about the exemption that he gave China supposedly for the electronics and the semiconductors. Because people are like, well, Trump lost because he gave exemptions. But it's really not that simple. Saw houses in Baltimore on sale for $1. Just a lost cause. I mean, how do we have that in the United States in a major city? Insane. Near your small town in Kentucky, you can get a decent house for 140K to 160K. Get out of the city, folks. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to live in a city. The thing is I want to be located near a city, but I wouldn't want to live in an actual big city because I don't want to live that close to people. Like I'm describing a suburb, but not really. Kind of. I mean, I have something in mind that's similar to a suburb, but not really. More so, just out like I'd like to be in driving distance of a decent sized city, like 10 minutes away, but not in the city. I think your best quote ever was America was founded by Christian white guys. That's a fact. Love that quote. Yep. Protestant Christian white men founded the country. That's 1,000% true. They're settlers, not immigrants. And then all the immigrants that we got were for European immigrants until the 1965 immigration law, and they even said they didn't expect it to change the demographics. And of course, it completely eroded it. How do we bring Christian values in America? Well, you got the immigration has to stop. The immigration has to stop, and reproduction of people with those values has to happen. I mean, that's really what it is, and also through education system. Then, of course, Reagan unfortunately granted amnesty in the 80s. Yeah, I mean, there's a number of things that happened in like the 60s to the 80s, 90s that caused the current spot that we're in. And also, it all gets accelerated through the birth rates going down. So it's like a double whammy. It's not like we're reproducing to counter the immigration. It's just it's the birth rates going down, the immigration going up. Listen, Trump is good for 4 years, but what's after him? What if a Dem comes in and reverses everything? Well, that's how our system works. I mean, it's like the funniest thing is the Paris Climate Accord. Like, just look at the history of that, and you'll see how you do these 4-year periods. It's kind of funny, but yeah, there'll be a lot of stuff that gets reversed if a liberal wins in 28. There's no doubt about it. Would you ever go to Saudi Arabia just to visit it? Yeah, I'd go to like UAE, Saudi Arabia to visit it just to see it. Obviously, I wouldn't live there. Trump Truth Social post about him suing 60 Minutes. Oh, this dude writes essays. Wait, he talked about Greenland? 60 Minutes, which is being sued by billions of dollars for the fraud they committed in the 2024 president election. Talking about mentioning Trump's name in a derogatory and defamatory way. Another story having to do with Greenland casting our country led by me falsely, inaccurately, and fraudulently. Yeah, they probably. I mean, dude, I don't know about going after this. Like, is this really worth it? Come on. These are the vendettas with Trump. You know, this is what Trump will do. Then he'll go after like news anchors and it's stuff. It's like, you know, they want to be mentioned by you. Rather spend your money on vacation in America. Yeah, I mean, vacation. I mean, I haven't been on vacation in a while, honestly. I've done both vacations in America: Florida, Vegas, California. I believe that's it. ban the Spanish language. Well, English now is the official language, finally. Took forever. That's another thing they'd probably change. Liberals, they'd get rid of Trump's executive order on English being the language. You know they hated that. And to them, that's seen as racist. It's insane, but... Crypto recovers this week. Well, I hope there's some bullish news with crypto, because some of these coins that I'm in, I could use some of these trades, these coins, to have a good environment for them to boom. How come you don't like Trump bitching about this? Because I don't really think, I mean, you're suing 60 Minutes for what exactly? It's, it's like, I don't know, man. It's these vendettas where it's a lot of this is just nonsense, and then Trump will go after like singular people. Why do you care about these people and what they say? What does it matter? You're the president. These people are, at the end of the day, irrelevant compared to where you are. If an anchor says something about me and I'm the president, I don't even know. I don't care. I don't know the anchor's name. It's... Predictions for the NBA playoffs. I'd go probably Cavs win the title. I think the Cavs probably take it. Well, actually, you know what? Let me look at the betting really quickly. Where's the... Really, the Celtics? That's disrespectful to the Cavs. The Lakers, they just gave him Luka. Yeah, the NBA's desperate for ratings. Did you hear about the big rug pull today? Yeah, I did. OM. Eight down. Went from 6, yeah, it went from 6 billion. 6 billion to 800 million. And this was a sizable built up project. Its narrative seeding to push more attention to issues in the future. The mainstream media as a whole will be demolished. This is just seeding that narrative idea. What, by suing them? I mean, it should be held like, yeah, I mean, if they're taking, this is the thing. This is like the PBS problem. If they're getting money from the government and they're biased, that should be illegal, and it's provable too with some of these, if they're getting federal money, and they're all liberal bias, by the way. Then yeah, that's not fair, and that shouldn't happen, and they should be cut off. Most sports today are bread and circus. I know. I've heard a lot of that. I mean, when I was younger, I definitely cared more about sports than I do now. Now it's more politics. But I don't know. He's suing 60 Minutes because they edited Kamala's answer to make her look better. Yeah, well, the thing is what 60 Minutes did is they uploaded 2 different versions of the interview, if I remember correctly. They have like a pre-version, which is like a preview of it, and then they uploaded the actual one. But she sounded like a complete dumbass with one answer. I don't know if it was like a Middle Eastern question or whatever it was, but she sounded retarded. And they edited it out. And it's like a completely different question she was answering. They put that as the answer to the question. Be honest, do you think Netanyahu has something on Trump? You've never seen Trump cucked by any other foreign leader? Well, it would be Mossad that has something on him, but I'm not sure what it relates to. I mean, liberals say it's an Epstein thing. I don't know. I don't think so. I think Trump was friendly with a lot of people. There's some photos of them together. I don't know what they have on Trump exactly. Obviously, it's... You know, we'll see. I mean, if Trump gets this nuclear deal with Iran done, that's not cooking to Israel. Israel doesn't want it to happen. Israel wants U.S. support in a war with Iran to weaken them and destabilize them, so hopefully there's some deal done and we don't have to continue to pick up another Middle Eastern war. You already talk about OM, must have missed it. I barely talked about it. Somebody just told me that there was, because I mean, you see these things, you know, I'll be scrolling through X and you'll see all of the shit. A lot of the stuff that the chat mentions I'll see, but like barely, and so I'll go back and look at it. But yeah, I mean that coin was built up too. Are they allowed to edit it since it's their platform? Well, I mean, it depends what was the way in which it's broadcasted. Does 60 Minutes, you know, how do they operate in terms of the money they take? How do they say they're non-biased? I mean, there's a number of things that, you know, there's laws that get that have to be followed with 60 Minutes. They can't manipulate footage like that to try and sway voters if they say they're nonpartisan and they take money being committed to being nonpartisan. So there's a number of problems with that. I mean, that's all through discovery. It would be found out. But, I mean, I don't know exactly what 60 Minutes whole thing is. But I know they try and, they're like, they investigate things. They're supposed to be non-biased, and that was clearly a biased interview because she gave a really dumb answer and they edited it out. But, I mean, I don't know. They said that there was 2 different versions of it and they just showed the one version. But, I mean, it was really bad. I mean, they took a completely different answer and edited it into a different question that was asked or whatever. Is like insane. Will Sharia law ever be implemented in any part of America? No. Made 5K on OM, bought at 0.55. Keep holding, or wait, he bought at 0.55. It went down to 0.48. Fine. Nah, I would take profit and get out. I mean, that's like Terra Classic, bro. When people would buy that after it fucking tanked. Terra Luna. So easy, but so hard to get rich on crypto. Yeah, I know. It is crazy how, you know, and everyone says this, well, it's against me, but it does seem like there's a few coins that I was invested into that I would have been rich, like legitimately rich, if I just would have stayed in the coin. So it's like you're getting closer. You just got to stay in the coin long enough. Kyle Shanahan on the hot seat. I don't know what the 49ers are going to do, man. It seems like they're kind of just I mean, did they give Purdy a massive contract, or is his rookie deal not up yet? But I think they did give Purdy a big contract. They're kind of just in a no man's land. They traded Deebo Samuel. We'll see. Just came across your channel a couple of weeks ago. You enjoy the political viewpoints you have. Most importantly, you make sense. I appreciate that. Boykins, I appreciate that. Thanks for the 5. OM went down to 36 cents. That was the bottom. Well, I mean, in terms of how I normally do it, I normally go by a market cap. But I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter. Yeah, it's done like a 2x. Yeah, I mean, they'll add jobs, but then you'll do another poll and it'll be like, well, it's going to cost, everything's going to cost more. The destruction of USA sports by politics is insane. I know, it is crazy compared to like how it was in the 90s, 2000s. It's how political it became. And then, I mean, you would think it would hurt their bottom line. I think it's finally, but the NBA just brokered a new deal. They got like a record deal. I don't know how. I think it's crazy. You'd think people would be turned off by that. I know they're starting to suffer ratings problems, but I think it's more to do with the product is so bad in the NBA now. Got into Pepe, 500 million market cap, July of 2023. Sold before. Yeah, not really, dude. If you got in at 500 million, Pepe only went to like 10 billion, didn't it? I wouldn't call that generational money. If you're talking about Shiba Inu, I know Shiba went to 44 billion. Pepe only went to like, what's Pepe's all-time high? Like 10 billion market cap? Part of the problem with Israel is that if we don't help them out, they will nuke Iran if they're about to be defeated. This is why JFK didn't want them to have nukes. Well, I mean, then if they decide to do that, then they're going to face consequences for nuking another country. But I mean, I don't know what Trump would do about that. Thoughts on banning OF? Yeah, I agree with that. I think OF is terrible. Obviously, it becomes a problem because it's like, well, what about the libertarian beat? You got to have, but I mean, certain things are so bad for society, you have to really consider it. And it just promotes bad behavior because women make a ton of money off of it. And there's a lot of women doing it, by the way, that OF stuff. I mean, more and more now you see these young women, they go on shows and stuff, they're like, I do OF and all this. It's like, you don't understand the contamination that comes with. It's just, so it turns people, it should turn men off just to be like, well, if you do OF, it's a non-starter. There's not going to be anything happening with a relationship if you do OF. It can't happen. You're just too much of a cuck. Stocks are going up, but you don't feel like it's worth it to hollow out U.S. industries. What do you mean they're going up? I mean, you're talking about they're going up in the past like 5 days. I mean, no, what's going to happen is I think there's going to be more choppiness. Even if these deals get signed, we would need more choppiness for at least a short-term period. We don't need an exact reversal right away. We want the rate cuts to happen. We don't want there to be a huge infusion because of all of these deals that get signed, just because we would rather things stay down for a little. And the rate cuts have to come. This is a fundamental, based off of the fundamental economic factors. It's going to be, I would say, still choppy, even if we go up a little bit. As long as the inflation stays down, we'll get the cuts. I think Trump may try and take away the capital gains tax on crypto. I mean, that needs to happen based on how people get screwed with crypto gains tax. I mean, I would be really thankful if Trump did that. Yeah, I know that about other countries keeping the kids at home until they get married and it becomes more of a family thing versus how it is here. Very interesting. You went on a date with an OF chick? God, she was so annoying. And she threw up in your bed. Is that seriously true, man? Would you just go on to hook up? I mean, an OF chick. Alex Jones and Chase on Sunday broadcast said that they think InfoWars is most likely done for real mid-May. They think, yeah, but they've been saying that for a while now. Remember, Alex was doing streams where he was like, well, we're being shut down in 30 minutes. Remember, he was talking to Tucker about it, so I don't know about that. I mean, we'll see. But either way, it's just going to be rebranded anyways. It doesn't matter. It's just going to be the Alex Jones Network or whatever. It's going to be the same thing. Is there a market on if the U.S. will have a recession? Yeah, there is. That's another thing that honestly would be good, but people don't want to hear that. That 49%. Basically, Trump will make these different tariff moves. If he takes tariffs off, then it goes down. I mean, it got to like 70%. I don't know. There's really no value in betting on this. It just depends. I mean, if you think the GDP is going to be positive and for the first quarter, this is going to go way down. I mean, there's no way I would wait till this gets resolved in February of 2026. It's just like a trade. What do you think of the Switch 2? The Nintendo Switch? I don't know. I haven't even seen it. What I do know is that they said that they were delaying the... Oh, this is it right here. They said that they were delaying the shipping of it because of the tariffs or some shit. I don't know, man. Like, what even is this bullshit? It's like nunchuck connected shit. Like, it's... Remember the PSP? Kind of reminds me of that. I don't know, man. I don't like Nintendo Switch for whatever reason. It seems like, you know, it's like the fucking Gen Alpha or whatever. What is it? Gen Beta? That's the 1-year-old kids now. They're gonna be on these Nintendo Switches. It's just like... Social media went crazy. Trump walking past JFK wife. You mean RFK? Yeah, RFK's wife. Yeah, that was kind of funny. I mean, who really cares? She started bitching at Bobby though. She's like, when did he not? And then he went back over to her, I guess. I don't know. How do we fix the propaganda in college or public university almost ever? Well, it'd have to, you don't have necessarily the power within the government to be able to fix that. You'd have to do certain propaganda initiatives that push kids away from college, ideally, but yeah, the next generation of kids, because we're not meant to, you know, in other countries they're really restricting the use. What it needs to be is a culture to where, I don't want it to be extreme, but like if you give your kid a phone at 7, that's borderline child abuse. I mean, because I think it's so bad for kids. What we really need to do is, like they did with the campaigns with when they did the cigarettes are bad for you and all that bullshit, talk about why young developing minds technology is bad for you. The problem is these devices, they replace babysitters and the kids just grow up, and I mean, we're going to see just terrible effects. These kids that are like 14 or 15, I guess at this point even 17, 18, they grew up on this shit. They're not going to grow up a proper way, and it's going to really warp them and mess them up. It has to at least a degree. I mean, not all of them, but see rapid response yet? No, I didn't see it. Best city on earth, St. Petersburg, Russia. Leningrad? It used to be called I believe it used to be called Leningrad. It's tough when you charge almost $600 for consoles. Yeah, but this is like you can take it on the go, so they say it's better than like an Xbox or a PS5 or whatever. So it's like if it's like a laptop. PCs are obviously better, but laptops are portable and stuff. so that you pay for the portability of it. I do have a Stream Deck. I don't use it. I don't know. I don't really like a Stream Deck. I have a really crappy one. This is it right here. A really crappy Amazon purchase. Maybe it was like $70. But the thing is it like lights up and all this shit, and I get tired of looking at the light on it. I don't know. You're 21, just on the cutoff range of not being the brain dead part of your generation. 21. Yeah, I mean when I was younger, we didn't get phones until like 13 or 14. I think that's a decent time. That's like middle school going into high school. Who do you think Vance will choose for VP? I don't know, man. Probably, I mean, maybe Rubio. It just depends. Are you glad that BlackRock has not touched the Panama? Well, they're trying to do a deal with the ports. I mean, I don't know if it's going to go through or not. It's in limbo right now. The deal for the ports with BlackRock buying them. Enlisting voting age of consent should be raised to 21. Do you agree? Well, I mean, obviously Republicans have been trying to get that raised. Although I don't know now. You know, we'll see with the young kids being more conservative. You know, these things ebb and flow, but you know that certainly would help if the voting age got raised. Yeah, because even still, man, I look at some of these numbers, 18 to 29-year-olds, they're like plus 30 lib. I mean, I guess it depends what poll, but it's still overwhelmingly lib. You got a phone in first grade? Dude, what kind of brain rot is that? You got a phone in first grade? Dude, you're like a fucking toddler with a sippy cup and a pacifier playing on a fucking iPhone 11. Elon should bring back MySpace. I think he'd bring back Vine before MySpace. Raise it to 25. The voting. Yeah, I agree. I mean, if you're in the military at 18, you should be able to vote. What is the average age of your viewers? Probably how old I am, honestly, because there's some people that are older, some people that are younger. But I mean, it's like I think the biggest, it's like 25 to 34 is probably the biggest demographic from what I see. I mean, but there are people that lie about that and stuff, so I don't know. But it's probably 25 to 34. Do you think the bull run is over? Well, I mean, it's been a weird cycle. I really wouldn't say it's over, no. Twitter is full of the Israel talk. I know. It's all depending on what algorithm you get fed, you'll get pretty much all Israel at this point and how Trump's controlled. 25, how old are you? I'm 25 as well. 21, 31, 24, 19, almost 20, 21, 34, 22. Oh, yeah, you're 69 years old, I'm sure. 16. Yeah, I mean, it's like the average is like 22, 23, 24. You're in your early 40s. I mean, we've got a diverse range. This is not a bunch of young kids. This is not Mr. Beast here. Come on. You're 37. Someone say a higher number. 58. 39, 21, 18. 38. Young Boomer, 37. Show Stephen A. You're not 12, man. You're 12 years old watching this political bullshit. Bro, go out and play on the Nintendo Switch or something, man. Zelensky is a clown. Yeah, I'm getting tired of Zelensky, honestly, man. I mean, I don't even know what he's demanding. What's the point of Trump going there? It doesn't even make any sense. I'm 25 years old. What's it like being that? I mean, we do have a diverse amount of range here, honestly, with people. We got people in the. I mean, some people are trolling. They're saying they're 12 years old. Come on. Australian cat, 18. It's a lot of different age ranges, honestly. If you don't do politics, politics will do you. Yeah, but that's the problem now is all these women in politics. You can't say that to women. You see, that's the issue. And that's what it's becoming a problem with the leftists, to where they say, you must be involved in politics. You must. So now all these women are involved. But I mean, dude, it still feels like politics is dominated by men. I mean, all of my peers are men. Like, is there going to be a female version of me? Like, is that realistic? It's just not realistic. I don't know. It still feels like it's dominated by men. Uh, have you ever been in a fight? I don't know if it counts. It's more like a wrestle. There's a few wrestling matches. Not really punches, but wrestling when I was younger. Does your mom watch 60 Minutes? No. And why do you even care? I mean, it's just strange questions from some of these people. It's just odd questions. Most women are Democrats. Yeah, but like even what I do, like who's a Democrat girl version of me? They don't exist. If you're a young guy, there's a much higher chance you're gonna be in politics. Women say, oh, they're in politics stuff. They know like fucking the bare minimum, and like they know to support Palestine, and that's about it. That's what these liberal women know. And that we're all, that if you're like what I am, I'm a fascist. I don't respect women's rights, and you know, I'm racist against minorities. Yeah. Does your mother own weed coin? I mean, my goodness. If you were a woman, you'd be a baddie. Well, listen. The female version of me probably has an OnlyFans or some shit. Probably a slut. Socialist. The socialist art. I'm gonna go be Hassan's bitch. I'll go be Destiny's bitch. Well, I guess Destiny doesn't like that. Destiny is a capitalist. Modern women didn't care about politics until Hillary ran. I mean, kind of, but I think it's a widespread thing that really permeates within colleges. It's a bigger movement than just Hillary running and then the women wanting her to win because she'd be the first female president. Movie review stream next Saturday, if no news. What movie review on what? The Minecraft movie? Destiny is all over the place. Well, it's easier to argue when you're all over the place rather than pigeonholed, because he does a lot of debates, and so, you know, you can pivot very easily rather than, you know, one set of viewpoints, which I understand the idea of it, but it's, I mean, there are, I guess, a few liberal things I would, but I don't even know if I agree with many liberal things at this point. Let's see how my coin is doing. Oh, it's back up. But just allow for it to go. It found a new bottom. Found a new bottom around 950 to a million. It's gonna range, but we do need to start going. We need to see it at 20 or 30 million. Give us 20 or 30 million, man. I'll rotate. Wait, who's that Russian who's the Russian that recommended me this? What's your next coin that I should buy? What's the most you spent on something stupid? Mine is asking this question. Oh boy. You know, I bought a really expensive smartwatch and I never used it. It was about $300 or $400. Yeah, we'll keep it PG on that, but yeah, I like a smartwatch. We're not fascists. We're America first. Well, who even cares if they call you a fascist? It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. It's like they call you racist and all this. It's all bullshit. Like, oh, they call you alt-right. I mean, who gives a fuck? Does it really matter? They've destroyed the meaning of those words. It's irrelevant. Would you let the homies hit that? Dude, come on. I mean, you're trying to get some type of weird fetish worked out here now. Now it's taking a bit of a turn. It's taking a turn now. It's taking a turn. Levitt needs an OF. Remember, she's dating like a 65-year-old dude. Caroline Levitt, White House press secretary. Did you used to smoke weed? I mean, no, I barely smoked weed, but I think this is a coin that's gonna do well. Somebody recommended it to me. I looked at it. I was like, yeah, this looks good. Would you consider leaving if you found a better opportunity elsewhere? How would you respond? I mean, just say you're focused on the current position. I don't know. I don't do job interviews. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I am not divorcing Barack. I'm choosing me. Is that a serious headline? Did your parents vote for Kamala Harris? No. China population is imploding. Yeah, but they still have a big population. They're going to switch to robots, too, a lot of their manufacturing. Worst job you've ever had? I've only really had outside. I mean, this is a job. YouTube is a job, but I've really only ever had 3 jobs. Maybe you could argue 4. Mainly only one main job. It was a landscaping job. Though I liked it. but I had a job at a gym when I was like 15 or 16. But I only worked like 3 hours. Like I worked 3 hours a week. So I didn't make any money. But I would just sit in the bathroom on my phone. I made like $9, and I think it was like $7.50 an hour. I'm not even kidding. I made minimum wage in Ohio, which was back in 2015. This is like, and I remember because they would have like they have to put this law up. The Ohio labor laws is like a thing. They put it up in the back, and it's like, according to the labor law, you have to be paid at least like $7.50 or something. But I didn't really have. I mean, that was not a good. But that was barely even anything. It was like I would work 5 hours a week, maybe 6 hours. Have you ever done a prank call before? And when you're like 12, I mean, yeah, but not recently, no. Can you beat me one-on-one in basketball, bro? You're a crypto, bro. I'm not no crypto. You're crypto, bro. You're not beating me, man. No, I got a pretty good jump shot. Honestly, I do. Poor Barack having to put up with that BS from his wife. This is a horrible headline. I'm not divorcing Barack. I'm choosing me. That's like the worst backhanded thing you could say. Zelensky did a 60 minutes interview to promote his shitcoin. No, you're trolling. Well, tell me what his coin is. There's no way. Dude, what if he actually was like, we have the contract address, and then you know with 60 Minutes how they have like the narrator, and then Vladimir Zelensky told me about his new breakthrough cryptocurrency technology. And then it's just Zelensky, we have the new coins that you can buy in America if you still want to support us in the war. And then Vladimir told me about his breakthrough crypto. "2015 to 2019 was a great era." Well, I mean, we all have nostalgia of it. It's nostalgia. But yeah, I mean, Trump was in. It was a good time. 22nd Amendment, 12th Amendment get changed. There would be, I think it would have to only be the 22nd Amendment getting changed. But you think Obama would beat Trump? I don't know. I think Barack has lost a lot of support within the Democratic Party. And he looks older, and I don't think so. I mean, definitely, I think Barack is still the leader of the Democrats, but it's such a wounded party. It's like, do you even want to be the leader of that? Average OF, they're making $170 a month. Right. I mean, you're only seeing like the top 0.1% of the women that make millions a month. Most of them aren't making shit. It's already oversaturated. Favorite Trump debate moment? It's hard. It's very hard. And then another thing about my hands, he insinuated if they're small, then something else must be small. I guarantee you there's no problem. That was to Rubio. But then also to Rand Paul, he's like, I don't know how Rand Paul is even up here. There's far too many people on the stage anyways. He's getting less than 1%. Yeah, they had like 11 people on the stage in that hangar during that debate. Democratic Party doesn't have a leader. Obama isn't in office. Chuck Schumer is trash. Bernie, well, yeah, Bernie's fading away. AOC is AOC is the young prodigy to Bernie. That's why they do those rallies together. They did a rally yesterday, 35,000 people in liberal LA, and I saw Hassan was streaming it, and it's just Bernie, it's AOC, it's just a socialist cesspool of just complete, it's just losers. You a post 9/11 baby? No, I would have been like 1.5, almost 2 years old on 9/11. Only Rosie O'Donnell. And then Megyn Kelly got pissed off. She's like, it was much more than Rosie O'Donnell. It was like, sir, it was much more. Because you'd be in jail. Yeah, that was the town hall debate with Hillary. You thought Zelensky was going to slap Trump during the meeting? It was so heated. I know. No, Zelensky looked really passive. He looked pretty beta during that. But we need to have another meeting. Dude, what if he's just like, he's all dressed up today? Remember that? That was brutal, man. He's all dressed. It's like his son. And he does it on purpose. You know, Trump does that to demoralize Zelensky. You knew he was going to say that. This is what Trump does. Did someone burn Shapiro's house down? Yeah, Josh Shapiro's house got burned down in Pennsylvania. You know, there'll be an investigation on it. We should crown Trump emperor. Yeah, we should really look at extending Trump and leaving him in for about 12 to 16 years. It's necessary for the country. It is necessary, you are right. But he's too old. Turn the page. Remember that? Waltz's wife. Would you take shrooms for mental health? I think it would destroy my mental health, probably. Any type of drug is not great for me. I mean, maybe. I'd have to really microdose it. You bet he burned his own house down. I mean, yeah, we'll see what comes of this. I don't know. It seemed like the people that did it were complete trash, but I haven't really looked into it at all. So I'm sure there'll be a lot of speculation on what happened. Obama really fucked Biden. Should have just let Joe run in 2016. I know, and there was definitely animosity that Biden, they ended up just picking Hillary. And you know how it is with those establishment Dems. It's already chosen. That's why Bernie was the outsider and he got fucked over in the Democratic primary in 2015, 2016. But there were obviously conversations. Biden was the VP. He's like, but then they're like, no, it's Hillary's turn because Hillary came in second to Obama in 2008, even though Biden was picked as the VP. But then Biden still would have had his wherewithal in terms of running in 2016 rather than sitting it out and then running in 2020. But even in 2020, Biden was like an old mess. He was already done. How far did you go? How far back did you go over the Trump tariff tease stuff? It was like at the beginning. Did you see Trump's post about South Africa? Yeah, well, I mean, they're right. Obviously, being racist against whites, it looks like. So Trump wants to take a stand against that. It's good Trump's calling that out for sure. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for this live stream. That was 2.5 hours actually, 2.5 hours. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. I think there's gonna be news on tariffs again. It's like this tariff shit. We got to get over this. This is the part of the administration where there's a bunch of this economic stuff, and so I might actually look at firing up a VPN to get that bet in, dude. I'm not even kidding you. I hope you win that bet. It's probably a good bet. I don't know if there'll be news tomorrow, but it's good value. Do you have any finishes? Wait, come on, dude. Nothing crazy, no. All right, let me look for my cat. I'll look for my cat. Give me a second. Hmm. Did you vote for Hillary? My cat voted for Hillary. He doesn't like being held. But guys, no, that's gonna do it for this stream. Make sure you follow me on X. Yeah, here's my cat right here. His name is Clyde. He's 15 years old. I think he's 14 or 15. All right, guys, I'll see you. Take some profits, just 1K. What in weed coin? Dude, there's no point in taking profits right now. It's still a week before 420. All right, I'll see you guys.